mentioned, Don, early in the show, Lightning starting to come back after kind of a rough start, not doing too well in their first 5 games, but last couple of games, I think with Garan in goal, they played a lot better.
Yeah, Garan had the shutout on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And you're right, they play much, much better, and looking forward to it. Our good friend Tommy Gilbert, who works with the club, and we have a chance to do a little work with him on Wednesday night sometimes on another station. And I'll tell you, it's nice to see them bounce back. You know they were too good to stay and get off to that terrible start. But unfortunately, they're in the division this year. Last year, they were very lucky that Washington got out of the gate very slowly. But right now, what is Washington? 7-0, I believe, and they really came out smoking.
And Ovechkin really hasn't done much as far as scoring yet either. So when he heats up,
He got a goal Saturday night.
he finally got a couple, I think, Saturday, right? But he had been gotten off to a slow start.
You're exactly right. He's gotten off to a slow start, but the team's not gotten off to a
No.
slow start. Remember last year, they lost something like their first 7 or 8 games in a row, and really going in almost to the middle of the season, they were, well down in the ratings, and then they came on, of course, full force in the second half of the season. But this year, just the opposite. They're getting out of the gate red hot.
And the Rangers still have not played a home game yet. Played a couple games in Europe. Actually, more than that. They played some preseason games there, 2 regular season, and now 4 games in Western Canada. They won't play at home until later this week, but finally getting a couple of good wins out in the West Coast. And Lundqvist just picking up where he left off. One of the best goalies in the league. I just hope they don't wear him out.
Now they had one of the unfortunately they had one of the same situations that the Lightning had, opening 5 games in a row on the road.
Right.
Because the arena, the stadium wasn't ready at the beginning of the season. It's they had a sellout the first night. They had 19,000 the second night, doing very, very well attendance-wise in the early going. But they had to play the first 5 games on the road because St. Petersburg Time Forum wasn't finished. And the Rangers are having the same thing with the redoing of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, they haven't done anything, I guess, with that in about 10 to 15 years. I guess it's almost a complete redo inside, isn't it? New seats and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like the St. Pete Times Forum, where they completely redid that, middle level or whatever it was.
Right.
And I think at the Garden, what they're doing is everything from, the lower boxes all the way around and the super boxes and all the rest of it. So it was a major undertaking.
Yeah, that arena is not, it's old. It was built in 1968. I remember when that opened. So it's new.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best engineering company in the world to build Madison Square Garden. The other thing is they forgot about radio and television.
I was going to say, they didn't put a press box in.
No, they didn't put any press box in. They had it up on the top where nobody could see anything. And but the same thing happened in Pittsburgh when Duquesne University built their brand new arena. They had the same engineers that did Madison Square Garden. They forgot there had to be a radio TV location, and used to sit down in the corner, up in the balcony. Used to sit down in the corner. You couldn't even see the left end of the arena. Maybe from 10 feet from the sideline across the baseline, you couldn't see anything at the Duquesne Arena. It was unbelievable. I mean, where these people get these engineers from, I'll never know.
Yeah, I remember the original the Garden when they first did it again. I think the radio and the press box was literally hanging from the ceiling. I mean, it was way up there. You had to take a special ladder to get up there. I remember we used to sit up in the blue section, and you had to climb a ladder to get up there.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's as close to God as I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
that's right.
I mean, you could barely see the players, much less the
Oh, I know. It was like a gondola almost stuck to the roof. It was very strange.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And finally, Marv prevailed, and they moved down and put the booth for the
right over the where the
right over the exit.
Exits, where the team comes out from the locker room. Yeah.
Yeah, right over the locker room exit, and he sat there, and so that was where they put put it. And finally, the last game I did there, they were finally down on the floor. They finally got power down on the floor. We broadcast the games down on the floor of the Garden, but for a long time we were up in the hinterlands, to say the least.
Well, your Flyers done. Jaromir Jagr still waiting to score a goal, coming back from playing in the KHL. I think he's 39, but does he have much left in the tank, or is it just a slow start?
Well, we talked about that during the season, and in fact, I think we talked tonight. We talked with Bobby Taylor that how much can he have left? Was it a good signing for the Philadelphia Flyers? And I don't want to base too much on 10 games, but you're talking, as you say, you're talking about somebody 39 years old who has really had a lot of wear and tear, and is very streaky to begin with. He's been on a lot of clubs now, and it's going to be very interesting to see whether he's a factor toward the middle or the end of the season if he's with the Flyers, because boy, oh boy, they needed some offensive punch, but I don't know that he's the guy that's going to give it to them.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when he went over to play in Russia. I thought maybe he'd finish up his career over there in that league, and that'd be it. But they did bring him back, and he's a well-traveled guy. He'd done a lot of skating up and down the rink, and has been a bit of a head case in the past. I think he kind of calmed down a little bit with the Rangers, but still, he can be a little flaky.
But really, even in his latter years in the National Hockey League, he wasn't really a dominant force or anything like that, and so I was really surprised that the Flyers were the ones that signed him, because there were 2 or 3 teams supposedly in the running. The Flyers were not even mentioned. At least I didn't see them until the signing, and it really surprised me. I know the Rangers, I think, were mentioned. Toronto, I think, was also mentioned in the early part. But I never saw anything mentioned about the Flyers until the day he signed.
Yeah, that was a surprise. At the last minute, they came in and swooped him up for about $2 million, wasn't it? Something like that. Crazy amount of money.
Really, tell you the truth, I don't remember the total dollars.
Well, we got a chance to see the Flyers in about a week and a half. I believe they're coming into the Forum on November 6th or 7th. I think we're going up.
We're going down on the 9th.
The 9th, that is, right? Yeah. So we got to see them.
November 9th, we're going down, and we'll have a chance to see Tommy in action down there at St. Petersburg Forum, and so it should be a lot of fun.